Welcome to the Sci-Fi Horror and Fantasy Show podcast. And now, here's your host, Ron Donahue.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome again to the Sci-Fi Horror and Fantasy Show podcast. I am your host, Ronald Donahue, and tonight I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Mario Lazo.
Hey, good evening, y'all out there.
And Mr. Jeff McIntosh.
Happy July. I hope everybody had a safe 4th of July yesterday. And I want to take this moment to do a very quick shout out to my wife who celebrates her 69th birthday tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Happy birthday.
Okay. Happy birthday. What you
So
got
if there's
planned?
any young ladies in the audience who would like to succeed for her, you can email me at drbloodstone@gmail.com.
Yeah. What you got planned, Jeff? Cake, ice cream, what you got?
I'm hoping cake and ice cream. I took her out to Olive Garden this afternoon. And,
What did she do wrong? I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jeff.
I took her out to Olive Garden and I ate way too much, and now I'm suffering the after effects of too much chicken and gnocchi soup and breadsticks.
Wow. Okay. Hey, do you all have a place up there, Jeff? It's called Nothing But Cakes.
No.
Oh man, they have them down. Well, they have a few locations down. I don't know how far across the U.S. they go, but they have them down here. And basically, every cake they make is like a bundt cake, right? The bundt cake mold, and they have like little small like cupcakes. They have one that's like a little bigger, and then they have one that's like the actual size of a cake. And they got like, what is it? How many now? Like 12 different flavors and whatnot. Man, they are so good. Oh my gosh. You should get one shipped to you. I think you probably get one shipped to you. You can go to the website.
They have a place I've seen online, and I think it's something like Send a Cake.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get cakes, and they come in a little box, and you open the box, and there's a cake in there, and you can get them with butterflies that fly around, the cake, and you can get some for Halloween where the bats flutter. But, they're like, $70, $80 a piece. And the cheap guy that lives in my soul says, $70 for a cake. I mean, I could go buy a Duncan Hines mix for $3 and bake it in my house.
I know, $80. That should be like a cake every month for that much money, man. That's crazy. $80.
And I don't even think that covers postage either. I haven't looked because I just $80. Forget it.
That's funny. All right, well, hey, tell her we wish her a very happy birthday, Jeff.
I will, and she's partial to gift cards to Amazon and cash. So if you guys would like to pony up,
all righty,
Ron, I know your address, Mario. I can find yours out.
All right, guys. Well, let's go ahead and get started. So, news has come out that, and this article is actually coming from Joe Blow. I've heard other people talking about it, but this is specifically coming from them. That the latest horror movie sequel, Megan 2.0, it only opened up at 10.2 million. That was actually 2/3 of a drop from the original opening of 30.4. Basically, it's been getting nothing but a ton of bad reviews from people. Matter of fact, Jason Blum made a quote saying that every time you do a sequel, you have to ride this very fine line, which if you make it too close to the first movie, everybody says you ripped off the first movie. And if you make it too far away from the first movie, everybody says, what the F is this, a sequel? This has nothing to do with the first movie, and we're pissed about it. I saw the first movie. I mean, it was okay. Like, I guess I would consider it more like a science fiction horror, but It was all right. Now, I have not seen the second movie, and from the response that I'm hearing, I'm probably not going to watch it either. But what say you about his quote about making a sequel? I understand, and I've heard it many times from directors, that it's very difficult to have a movie, a sequel, that can even match up to, let alone surpass, the original movie that came out. So, what do you feel about his statement? Do you agree with it? That I guess it's a fine line that they have to walk to make a good sequel, and obvious enough, this time they didn't do it. What do you think about it, Jeff?
Well, it seems pretty accurate to me. I mean, how many Killer Doll sequels can you think of that have been really better or at least as good as the original? I mean, you can look at Chucky, because I don't know. There's probably 4 or 5 different Chucky movies.
Right.
There were probably 2 or 3 different Puppet Master movies.
Oh, those are okay, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I didn't say they were good. I just said that they were out there.
Mm-hmm.
So how many times can you go back to the well? You know, if you have a hit movie, you can't have lightning strike in the same place twice. And, you know, you get something completely unexpected, like, I can't think of the movie that Ronnie Howard was in.
Ice Cream Man?
No, that was his brother.
I was thinking of his brother.
There was a movie he did, back in the 70s, and it was. That's the one. You know, how many American Graffitis did you see? There was just the one. I don't think there was ever a movie like American Graffitis 2. Not that I've ever heard of, anyway. So you can't go back. You can't say, well, the audience likes jump scares, and they like homicidal female robot dolls, and so we're just going to throw all this stuff into a blender, and we're going to hit puree, and then whatever comes out we're going to film, and research says people are going to love it. Yeah. I think the dismal record of some movies, kind of doesn't support that.
Yeah, and I see as well. I think one of the biggest problems, one of the many problems with this movie, but one of the biggest ones, Megan actually went from being a bad guy in the first movie to a good guy in the second one. So how does that work? And obviously enough, it didn't. Mario, what do you think about that? About Jason Blum's comment?
And Jeff, you were probably about 14 or 15 when this came out. I was lucky enough to see them in the theater, and what did you call them? A sequel,
right?
Okay. The only successful sequel that I've seen, I don't know, at the theater, were The Godfather 1 and The Godfather 2. Those are
what about Star Wars?
Oh, yeah, okay, there's the sci-fi route. But the first one that comes to my mind always, it's the one that leaves you the longest impression, I guess, in my life, because I was 10 or 11 when they came out. And I saw them and go, wow, but just to amplify that, I saw a movie a couple of years ago called The Old Guard. And the sequel came out, The Old Guard number 2. And as soon as I started the movie, I said, you got to be kidding. Number 1, the quality of the movie. If you fail me on that, I'm just going to be disappointed. And even if the storyline is good, okay, So I saw the first Lucy, and I said, you know what? Let me wait to hear about Lucy number two. You know, and I'm glad because when you expect something and you're holding it to a high level, with the exception of the Star Wars, with the exception of a couple of the Indiana Jones,
Yeah,
um, right or wrong. I
yeah,
mean,
that's true. And
you have,
and only thing I was gonna say, the the first Star Trek movie I thought was terrible.
oh
The
yeah,
first
the
one
first
we have that
V'ger,
was horrible, V'ger.
V'ger,
Now
yeah,
I mean, they went all cylinders in on Star Trek 2. That was amazing.
yeah, yeah.
Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock.
Uh,
Yeah, that was okay. And then wait, The Search for Spock. Then and then wasn't that the one with the whales too? No, Spock was already. So that was the fourth one, The
yeah,
Voyage. It was trash.
they started making movies just to make movies,
Yeah, that was
and sadly, after the second one, I would have thought it long and hard to come out with another one
yeah.
because you touched on the old Star Trek,
That's
you
right.
know, and
Mm-hmm.
that storyline holds. Anything that's good is going to hold. Now, if you're going to try to recreate, I don't know. I'm glad in regards to not going to see it now after looking at it and seeing the reviews.
Mm-hmm.
They'll make movies to make money and to hit some of the other folks out there that like that, regardless of what quality of a movie you put out, So I guess I'm not going to go see it. I'll wait till it comes out, a couple months down the road
Mm-hmm.
on streaming. But yeah, it's too many factors into getting a good sequel.
And then what's the weird thing about it too? Which I don't know, man. I don't know how they greenlit this thing. At Halloween Horror Nights last year, one of the haunted houses was with Megan. So how are you going to have a haunted house with her as the killer? You're trying to get out the haunted house so you don't get killed by the robot. But then this year she's the good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I say, I don't know. It wasn't well thought out. I don't know what they were going for, but hey, look, Blumhouse usually makes some very good movies, so everybody's entitled to make a bad one once in a while. So I guess this is one of their chalk it up as one of their bad ones. But let me ask our listeners, what do you think? Did anybody see Megan 2.0? And if you did, what did you think about it compared to the first one, or did you see the first one? Drop us an email at drbloodstone@gmail.com and let us know. All right. So next, we got some very, very sad news. Mark Snow, the composer of the X-Files theme, has passed away at 78 years old. And the thing that is so amazing to me about I just learned about these things, learned about some of the things concerning him. I didn't realize that he was so prolific in composing scores. He also composed the score for Millennium, for Harsh Realm, the spinoff of X-Files, The Lone Gunman. He did the theme for that. And then even years before X-Files, he composed. Now we're going back now. If any young folks are listening, they're not going to even know what I'm talking about. But he actually worked on the theme song, the score for Starsky and Hutch, Cagney and Lacey, The Love Boat, and Pee Wee Herman's Playhouse, which I had no idea at all. So we really lost a really good composer. I think the X-Files, I can think out of any TV shows from the 90s or whatever, I can still remember it. That creepy, oh man, the creepy theme song. So with that being said, Jeff, do you have a favorite Mark Snow song out of all those ones we've listed?
I have a sneaking fondness that I will never admit to publicly
Okay.
because I was in my probably my 20s when The Love Boat came out.
Yeah.
And and I liked hearing Jack Jones, who warbled the song through I don't know how many seasons of The Love Boat, and I watched that show religiously every Saturday night for years.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
But seeing how we're the horror, sci-fi, and fantasy podcast, I probably should say The X-Files. Although, of course, The Love Boat was like a fantasy.
Yeah, it's true. It was true. Mario, do you have of all the songs listed here? Do you have a favorite out of any of them?
Well, it's okay. Yeah, it's the tune that catches you. It's kind of like how many folks here remember back? I guess it was in the '70s, the Oscar Mayer song. You know,
Yeah, I
matter,
remember.
a matter of fact, in that movie Demolition Man, I don't know if you recall, they have a radio station, and it's old jingles. So yeah. Then I remember also the X-Files because the tune reminds me of what was that movie, The Exorcist.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me of I don't remember what it was called, Tubular or something or other.
Tubular Bells.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, of course, I remember The Love Boat because it was a catchy tune, and let's face it, back in the '70s, all those TV shows had a tune that was catchy, But I prefer the X-File one because it reminded me of the show, and I was a big fan of that show.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Big time fan. Matter of fact, I collected all the not DVDs, VHSs, and each VHS came with a card, like a collector's postcard in it. So he did come up with some great, songs. Like today, I'm sure folks in the next decade will remember. Oh yeah, I remember when I was a kid, the X-Files and stuff like that. So yeah, you got to give credit where credit is due.
Absolutely. Yeah, I wonder. There were two Starsky and Hutch songs. It was the first one, and then they came out with another one after it. The first theme song sounded like, some music you would hear, some like strip club or something. But then the second one sounded like, nah, this like a police, detective show or whatever. So I wondered, did he do one or both of them? I don't know. But then I remember Pee Wee's. Hey, I'm a big fan of Pee Wee Herman. I loved his movies and the TV show. Pee Wee Herman was hilarious.
Yeah, he was funny.
Yeah, he's always funny. So yeah, we've unfortunately we have lost one of the great composers, TV show composers. All right, so next we have some news from Collider that Sinners, Ryan Coogler's Sinners, has just become the second biggest horror movie in domestic box office history, having overtaken the half-century-old hit that literally invented the concept of summer blockbusters. Sinners has surpassed Jaws, who just it's happening right now, celebrating its 50th year anniversary. This is pretty incredible. Jaws grossed $273 million in its domestic box office run. And and for the longest time, it said that was the highest grossing film in history at that time of its release. On its 56th day of release, Sinners overtook Jaws with a domestic box office total of $274 million. So, what say you, Mario? What do you think about that? I mean, that's a pretty incredible feat.
Yeah, no, that goes without saying. The movie, like I said, I enjoyed the heck out of it.
Hmm.
The acting, the actors involved. You know, it was. I don't know about Jaws when it came out. If those actors were well known, I don't know about uh, Dreyfus and all the others, but
Roy
you know,
Schneider. Yeah.
exactly. So
Mhm.
this was a win-win, and rightfully so. It should take that position.
What do you think about it, Jeff?
I always like to see when I'm going to call it like a genre film first. And then after that, I'm going to say I'm going to use the term African American because that's how I grew up. I don't mean any disrespect to anybody who doesn't like me using that term African American. I use it in preference to black because I think it's more accurate, but that's just me. I like it when uh, a film with African Americans in it, directed by African Americans, with primarily an African American cast, can succeed. Because overall, I think that a lot of the movies that are released by the major studios are run by white guys and probably a lot of older white guys. So you have movies that primarily embrace, let's say, a white perspective.
No,
So
I no. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you. Go ahead, Jeff. I'm sorry.
so for me, it's nice to hear another voice at the table.
Right. Right. I agree wholeheartedly. And it also said in the article as well that Sinners underperformed in overseas markets, failing to hit the $100 million mark. And they say that it's disappointing that the overseas run reaffirms the tragic trend. Basically, exactly what you said, Jeff. That movies featuring predominantly black cast failing to perform in foreign markets. That's messed up. But as you said, that is still amazing that it grossed that much here in America. And it, like Mario said, it was a very good movie. It was a really good movie. What can you say? I mean, Ryan Coogler is an excellent director. Every movie I've seen of his has really been really well done. Now, I will say, the only one I mean, it was okay. I wasn't much of a fan for all of it. Was the second Black Panther movie? That one kind of felt I wasn't feeling that one very much. Too much weirdness in that movie. But at the end of the day, all of his other movies he has done to me are really, really good. So, wow, congratulations to him. I tell you one thing, I don't think he's going to have any problem trying to find work anytime in the future when he can make numbers like that. He's definitely going to have work.
Well, if he's hiring, I'm available. I can do it all. I'm a writer. I'm a director. I'm a star.
I'm a prop man.
What happened, Mario?
I'm a prop man.
Prop man. Okay.
So,
All right.
All right. Listen, I'm not going to see you in connection with Rust 2, am I, Mario?
no.
Rust? Who made? Oh, Rust. That's funny. That's a bad joke, Jeff. It's too early for that, man. It's not. Oh, that's a bad joke.
Expect hate mails coming to you, Ron.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anywho, to our listeners, what do you think about that? Has anybody seen Sinners? What do you think? And that's the funniest thing. I do have my regular summer list of movies that I watch, and normally for most every summer it always kicks off with Jaws. For me, once I watch Jaws, summer has officially started. So yeah, I already watched Jaws 1 and Jaws 2 this year. I'll probably end up watching Jaws 3 sometime in the next week or two.
Do you have the glasses?
I stop at Jaws 3. At 4 and the Revenge and all that foolishness. Nah, I watch that stuff.
But do
So
you have the 3D glasses for Jaws 3 though? That's the real question.
nah, man, I never. I'm trying to remember. I don't think the only Jaws that I ever saw in the movie theater was Jaws 2.
No, I missed out. I missed out. They showed, let me correct myself, they showed last month Jaws at the original theater that they played it at here at the Miracle Mile,
Oh yeah.
where I saw it. And I saw it on the marquee and I said, oh, I got to remember it. Gosh darn it, I forgot all about it. But I would have been able to see it at the original theater that I saw it back in, in the 70s. And boy, I was aggravated at that I missed out on that.
I'll still say, to me, I know they love to do remakes on movies, but I gotta tell you, I really hope no one ever tries to do a remake on Jaws. I think that movie, that now maybe I'm short sighted, but that is just one movie I think is almost just like the perfect movie. I don't even understand why you would want to do a remake of it. Well, I don't know if Steven Spielberg has the rights to it. Maybe, maybe nobody will be able to or not, but I certainly hope they don't do it. They've certainly made enough really bad shark movies. I think, what was that? I saw one that was that was it last year I saw it? About these mutant sharks in France and
Under Paris, maybe?
yeah, oh man, it was so dumb. Wow, that was a bad movie. So like I say, they've had plenty of really bad shark movies. I just hope no one ever tries to come back and try to do another Jaws remake or do a Jaws remake or anything like that. So, all right. Anyway, let's move on. Steven Spielberg, after many years, is making a UFO movie that is slated for release in sometime in 2026. He's making a movie now. There's really not no information. There's no title. There's no plot information or anything. So I guess it's really being under, tight wraps. Nobody really knows other than he's doing it. There's already been some major stars cast, including Coleman Domingo, Wyatt Russell, Josh O'Connor, Eve Hewson, Emily Blunt, Colin Firth, and Noah Robin. We haven't seen Steven Spielberg do a last UFO space movie he did was what? E.T.? So, huh?
It wasn't Close Encounters, was it?
Batteries not included.
So that was him too, right?
Yeah.
But E.T. came after Close Encounters. It was Close Encounters and then E.T.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, E.T. was his last one.
Well, no, he also did Batteries Not Included.
Yeah.
With Hume Cronin and
The kind of comedy.
Jessica Tandy.
So that was a UFO movie too?
They had little tiny miniature UFOs in it, but you might be kind of shading a little bit on it. But yeah, it had UFOs in it.
Okay, so then
they were friendly UFOs.
So then that would have been so that would have been the last one. But either or, it's been many years since he's done one. So with that being said, what do you think about another movie coming out? Him doing another UFO movie, Jeff?
Well, why not? Pretty much anything Steven Spielberg puts his finger on makes money.
That's true.
I can't think of anything that he's ever done where Universal or whoever threw up their arms and said, "Oh my God, this is a dog, Steven. You need to hang it up and go farm oranges or something."
Now, one of the actors, Josh O'Connor, made the comment that he says this movie is like old school Spielberg. So I'm thinking, okay, old school E.T. or old school Close Encounters of the Third Kind. And speaking of which, had either of you ever heard that there was, I guess, talks to do an E.T. sequel, but that it was going to be almost like more like a sci-fi horror movie. Had you all heard that?
I never have.
Yeah,
No.
I've heard about that. That of course, it never got made, but it was going to be much darker than the original, family friendly E.T. movie that came out. I guess that's probably why they never they never did it. It was too much of a change from the original film. But I heard about that. But hey, I think this is good news. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think Steven Spielberg has made some of the greatest movies in our lifetime anyway. And that he wants to get back into the wheelhouse. What I really hope is, I hope this is like a really good like sci-fi thriller, as opposed to I don't want another family friendly ET movie. I want something like, especially with all this UFO stuff we're hearing about now. I hope it's going to be something along those lines, something that's going to be really kind of, out there. But if anyone can do it, it'll be him. So we'll see. We'll see.
Maybe it'll be a remake of that movie that you talked about last week.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome. that would be awesome. Absolutely.
You could throw in some sexy space aliens, and hey.
Yeah, that's what I want. That's exactly what I'm looking for. All right, guys, let's move on. CBR.com put out an article which is really interesting, and the article is entitled 10 Classic Fantasy Movies That Are Unwatchable Today. Now that's an opinion, right? Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. So the writer Steve Michaels, that this is, his opinion piece. So at number 10, he has The Golden Voyage of Sinbad. And he says that it's outdated in multiple ways. One being the clunky claymation animation and the offensive depictions overshadow its charms. That's like, so it originally came out in 1973. And I think I've seen that movie before. It's just like any other movies previously, your Cleopatras and all this, where, all the royalty were white people, blonde hair, blue eyes, or brunette and blue eyes. And, all the servants were, if they had them on set, were like people of color or what have you. So, yeah, I mean, I understand where he's coming from with that, but I don't have a thin skin. I watch the Three Stooges, and even some of their stuff sometimes is culturally insensitive, but I understand where he's coming from for this one. So then let's move on. Next one, he has Crow. He says that was yeah, he's going back here. He says Crow was revolutionary at the time of its release, and it said several decades have not been kind to this film. And you remember, Liam Neeson was in that movie. He was starring in that film.
He was the Cyclops, I think.
Nah, he wasn't a Cyclops, but there was the Cyclops in it, because I got a picture of him right next to the Cyclops. He wasn't a Cyclops, but he was in it.
Yeah.
So then, okay, next we have The Never Ending Story 2. The next chapter was an unnecessary sequel, and said the movie was highly anticipated but lacked charm. I never saw. So let me go to the next one. Well, no, let's stay on that one. I never saw any of those Never-Ending Story movies. I know what I mean. I've seen them, like that blue dog dragon looking thing that the boy was flying around on.
Yeah.
But I never saw. Did either one of you ever see it?
Both of them.
Really? That came out in '84. The Never-Ending Story. I never saw it. Was it good?
It was okay. I mean, it was marketed as a kids movie, and the second one seemed to deal with a lot of death.
Oh.
Correct me if I'm wrong here, Mario. And one of the movies, one of the main characters, Atreus, he goes into a swamp and hits some quicksand, and his horse goes out from under him, and his horse ends up dying, and I'm sure that was upsetting to a lot of kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see the second one, but I did see the first one.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now for 7, he has the Clash of the Titans. I remember that movie.
The original or the remake?
Well, this was the one that came out in 1981.
Okay, the original.
So it says it features awkward effects, and the classic story doesn't look right today. And it had the animation that the claymation stop animation for Ray Harryhausen.
Yeah,
he was he did like the Pegasus and the Medusa and the Kraken and
the flying owl.
Yeah, the mechanical owl. It says these awkward animations are more glaring when compared to another movie that was released the same year and featured much better effects, which is Raiders of the Lost Ark. That's true. Isn't that something? Wow, that's true. When you look at the special effects from Raiders of the Lost Ark and compare that to this movie, wow, this night and day. Raiders of the Lost Ark is way better.
Yeah, I didn't think of it that way. Yeah.
Right. I didn't either. It's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so now this one I disagree with. This one I strongly disagree with. For the number 6, it's an animated movie. It's The Black Cauldron. Was a TV staple for 80s kids. The story won't make much sense today. I disagree. I think The Black Cauldron is a pretty good story. Basically, a young farm boy trying to save the world from an evil king. It had a PG rating. Now, he says, while praised for its art style, it failed at the box office. Well, I mean, we've seen other movies that we like but didn't do well at the box office. But, movies are subjective. So being forced to compete against more family-friendly alternatives, including the Care Bear movie, which I've never seen, and 101 Dalmatians. Still, The Black Cauldron found new life on television, airing fairly regularly, leaving an impression on fantasy fans who grew up in the 80s and the 90s. Have either one of you seen it? That's a good film.
I have vague memories of it, and I also hate to admit, but I've also seen the Care Bears movie, so don't hate me.
No, really?
I'm afraid that caring is sharing, baby. That's all I have to say.
So did you go? Let me ask you a question, Jeff. You went by yourself, or took your grandkids or your kids or something?
Oh, I didn't even have kids back in those days, so I would have gone with I either went with my wife or I might have caught it like on HBO or something. But I have seen the Care Bears, and my brain hates my eyes to this day for watching that movie.
Okay. So now 5, we have Highlander 2. It said the quickening was just bizarre. The franchise was a classic, but the first sequel doesn't hold up. I agree.
To be honest, I don't recall it. To be honest.
That was the one where it says Highlander 2 reveals that immortals are actually aliens from another planet. He actually, what was his name?
Kevin McLeod.
Yeah. Brings back Sean Connery's character from the dead and revolves around a mortal science fiction plot that clash with the fantasy elements of the series. He says strong performances from the returning cast of the movie can't save this entry in a classic series, making it a best forgotten entry in the franchise. Yeah, this was trash. Everybody else gets their head cut off, but he actually bought Sean Connery back. It was like stupid. That was a trash movie.
That first one, because it had so much. Oh my God! What was the band? Was it Queen?
Oh, for the TV show, yeah, they did
No, for the first movie too.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they had. It was Queen, as a matter of fact. Who Wants to Live Forever?
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, that was Queen.
Yeah.
So yeah, the music, and especially that one guy who had kind of like a collar,
Mm-hmm.
bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Remember him driving a, I can't remember what kind of car it was. That music was, above par,
Yeah.
along with the movie. But yeah, the second one, I don't recall even the music, you know. So it didn't leave an impression on me.
Yeah. Did you see the second one, Jeff?
I did. I don't have very clear memories of it, but uh, I can't remember who starred in it, but I think it was the guy who played Tarzan at one point in time.
Really? It's
Yeah,
Christopher
yeah.
Lambert. Christopher
Yeah,
Lambert, Sean
yeah.
Connery. I don't know anybody else.
Clancy Brown was in one of them. Maybe it was in the second one.
No, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I went to see both of them. I liked the first one. I kind of sort of remember the second one, but
Mhm.
Not very closely.
Yeah, it's not very memorable. All right, so let's move on. For number 4, we have Masters of the Universe with Dolph Lundgren. He said, Master of the Universe brought He-Man to the big screen. In retrospect, it was a mistake. Now, that came out in 1987 with Dolph Lundgren. Honestly, I'll be honest with you. I have never seen it. I've always heard how bad it was, but I never. And it's so funny seeing Dolph Lundgren with the armor on, with the blonde hair. It looks hilarious, but I've never seen it. Now I know, He-Man was huge. That was a huge franchise from the 1982. You had the books, comics, toys, animated series. It was huge in the 80s. So I guess they were just trying to, they waited until 87 to make the film, or the film comes out or whatever. But they say
It's
they
for
also they lost money on that movie.
it's for Courtney Cox fans only.
Yeah, it wasn't great. Did you see it, Mario?
No, I saw the marquee and I go, I don't think so.
Yeah. Did you see it, Jeff?
Absolutely, I did.
Wow, Jeff's seen everything, man.
Yeah,
And they had that, and the central plot of the device, or the central portion of the plot, I should say, is that they had this stupid little glowing blue gizmo that I think was like a dimensional key,
Mm-hmm.
so you could turn it on and go to other dimensions, and Evil Lyn and Skeletor lost it, and He-Man and his Earth allies were looking for it, and I was like, I paid to see this movie. That's another movie. That's another movie where my brain says, Eyes, I really hate you.
Let me ask you, sidebar for either one of you. Have either of you ever walked out on a movie because it was so bad?
Oh yeah.
What did you walk out of?
Okay, Natural Born Killers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really? And I thought that I don't know. I just wow, this is just really bad. And I think there's been a couple more that I've walked out on, but the first one came to mind. Matter of fact, I remember because we were vacationing in San Diego,
Uh-huh.
San Diego, and I was with a girlfriend. And I go, yeah. She goes, no, this is a horrible film. I said, okay, you don't have to tell me twice, and just got up and I moved out of it.
I tell you.
There's been a couple more that I'm going, really, and for some reason,
Uh-huh.
yeah, my eyes overcome my brain. So no, we're not sitting for this one. Yeah, we're going on. So okay.
I
I
tell
know there's
you,
been a couple more. I can't remember. My brain erased it. Did my eyes a favor and erased it.
the one movie I was one scene away from getting up and walking out because I was already getting my stuff together to get ready to leave. They made this horrible movie from a video game called House of the Dead. And the scene that it was so. If I say stupid, I'm actually complimenting them. I can't think of another word worse than that. There was a scene where all these kids are on this island, right? Partying, they're having this party and what have you. And then I don't remember what happened or why, but then there's all these zombies come. So now these are people, some of them have never held a firearm in their life, but what made it so ridiculous was they would show the person, like this one girl, she jumps up in the air. Now, if you're going to fire a shotgun, I don't know why you have to jump in the air, but she jumps up in the air and they like freeze her. Like, so you see her in the air with the shotgun and she like freezes. So then the camera does a 360 around her, like maybe 3, 4, 5 times spinning around her. And then boom, she shoots it. So you see some zombies go flying or whatever. But they did that with about 4 other people doing these trick shots and all these, the first time they're ever holding a gun in their life, doing these Annie Oakley trick shots and stuff, shooting zombies. But for every person that had a gun in their hand, they did that same stupid 360 camera around them. I think after like the 4th person or the 3rd person, I was already getting my stuff to go. If it had went one more person, I was out of there. It was that bad. That movie was so horrible. The House of the Dead. I dare anybody to watch it and tell me otherwise. That's a horrible movie. Horrible movie.
Is that the one with the kid from Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Jeff, I could not even tell you, man. I have so put that out of my mind. I can't even tell you. I just remember walking out of almost getting ready to walk out the theater. It was so bad, man. I don't remember anybody who was in that movie. Literally, I can't tell you anybody who was in that movie. But have you ever walked out of a theater, Jeff?
You pays your money and you takes your chances. So the short answer is going to be no. If I have dropped $15 and I'm watching The Curse of Satan's Claw or whatever, I am right there till the bitter end.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Better man.
I'm probably going to complain about it, but it's going to be like, I spent $15 for this celluloid crap.
You might be able to get a refund then. I mean, if you speak to the manager, maybe you get a refund. I don't know. Well, okay. Well, either or. That was a sidebar. Let's get back to it. We got 3 more to go. So number 3. You remember that movie? It was really lame. The Beastmaster.
Mark Singer. Yep.
Yeah. That was when it said releasing only months after Arnold Schwarzenegger's Conan the Barbarian, and capitalized on increased interest in fantasy action stories, and went on to get regular showings on cable and premium television in the 80s and 90s. Yeah, I remember the Sword and Sorcerer and the Barbarian. Man, there was like so many different video games and so many different. I remember there was these twin brothers. I said, man, both of them looked like they were roided up, but they did like this really bad sword and sorcery film. I don't even remember what their names were, but they were identical twins, 2 muscle heads. But I remember there were so many different movies that came out, Sword, got the Barbarian fighting the wizard or the bad guy and whatever. And it says as well, it said it went too far with its campiness, and it said also suffered with issues with pacing and featured underdeveloped characters. It says the film gets by on its themes and visuals. It says these elements won't carry it today, however, making it a movie best skipped in favor of Arnold Schwarzenegger's Conan the Barbarian. So then, now this one was kind of, I understand it, and I never thought about it, but I get it. Peter Pan, the animated Disney animated, number 2.
Okay.
We're at number 2. So Peter Pan, It says the story is classic, but the Disney movie is uncomfortable today. Offensive depictions will turn off many viewers. And it's so funny that how they show. I'm no. Let me rephrase
Which
it.
one? Which one?
The cartoon, the original
The
1950 cartoon, the way that they portray the Indians, the American Indians, because they've even changed that. Disney has done a complete revamp, not only on the Peter Pan ride, but even on the what is that other ride? It's another ride they had where you would see like American Indians or Native Americans out there, but they've completely changed it now. It's not like what it used to be. It's more culturally sensitive. So it says that, well, he says other parts may be fun, but it said, but these moments make it difficult to watch. When he says the movie even features a song referring to Native Americans as the Red Man, a term accepted in the middle of the 20th century, but recognized as wrong today. Yeah, I mean, I get it. Yeah,
I can tell you where I saw it as a kid,
mm-hmm.
and you know where it's at the Olympia Theater.
Yeah.
In downtown.
Yeah.
The one that still has a ticket booth outside.
Uh-huh.
And I saw it. They had like a second floor, and they had like little sections that sat, closer to the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And I still, to this day, I must have been, I don't know, third or fourth grade, when I saw it, or maybe the second. I can't recall, but yeah. I remember watching it there at the Olympia Theater.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just so funny. It's so many movies that we watch, like we watch now, and they're unedited or whatever, and even like like I love Everybody Loves Raymond. That show is so funny, but even now, there are so many jokes that are on it, especially from the guy who played his dad. There's no way you could say that stuff today. You know what I mean? Everybody Loves Raymond.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Peter Boyle.
Yeah, Peter Boyle.
Like
Peter Boyle.
anytime, like anytime Raymond says something, he didn't like or whatever, or Robert, his brother. Oh, two sissies, y'all some sissies, or there's you can't say that kind of stuff nowadays. So again, I understand where they're coming from, and I guess it's a good thing.
Wait, this is what I don't understand.
All right.
And I love that kind of the show because of that.
Mm-hmm.
It was Will and Grace.
I never saw that show. I know a lot of people say it was funny, but I never watched it.
Well, watch even the first episode. And you'll see. I mean, I sometimes I get like, wait a second, okay, and I don't think that they'll ever complain about the show.
Mm-hmm.
But yet, you've got to see it. Watch the first episode and tell me what you think, Ron.
Okay. I'll check it out.
Have you seen it, Jeff?
I used to watch it, but it didn't really grab me. I mean, you've got the character of Jack, and I mean, he was maybe kind of borderline offensive as this effeminate gay man, and then you had Will, and he was more. I don't really want to use this term, but I can't think of anything else, so I'm gonna. Will was more butch. He was more of a real guy than
Jack.
the other one was
just Jack.
Jack, so
it showed just Jack.
I watched it. It was okay. I mean, it wasn't like Seinfeld, which I really adored, and it wasn't like Wings that I really adored. So I watched it, but I think it was a bridge show between that and something else that I really wanted to see, and for half an hour, it wasn't worth turning on or going away from NBC.
Okay, so we have our number one movie or show that wouldn't stand up today, which is actually the second Conan the Barbarian, well, Conan the Destroyer, which is true. The second movie was not
Is that
nearly as good.
James Earl Jones?
No, the first one was James Earl Jones,
Oh,
but the
okay.
second one had Grace Jones in it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, when she was, yeah, okay, yeah, it wasn't great, and he's basically saying that the story took place in the land of Hyboria, and it said the original film did help to establish many of the tropes of sword and sorcery, but then 2 years later, it said the filmmakers attempted to recapture this magic with a sequel that picks up the titular warrior's journey. Unfortunately, it did not live up to expectations. Yeah, I mean, I think the only reason, if he wants to say why the second movie it wouldn't be watchable today, only because it wasn't a good movie. I don't think it has to do with anything that they did or didn't do. I think it wasn't a good movie. It wasn't nearly as good as the first one. Have you both seen the second Conan?
I more than likely did, because in the time when that came out, I'd go to the movies quite a bit with a girlfriend or whomever. I saw it. I saw a lot of movies, back in that time frame in the 80s. So I try to forget the ones that were, and I try not to, think about it too much. The ones that I didn't like, so I don't recall much of them. I think the first Star Trek was 79, wasn't it? The Beecher one?
Yeah,
I think so. Something like that.
Yeah. And then, what is that? The Wrath of Khan was in the 80s, wasn't it? 82 or 83, I think it was.
Yeah.
So, yeah, all 80s movies. But I did see, well, of course, Arnold would produce quite a bit of films back in that era. Commando, this one, that, and they were, a lot of action in them, so there weren't many Westerns during that time frame. Or horrors, it was in the latter part, wasn't it? Or
yeah, I mean,
with the Jasons,
they were spread. They were spread throughout from the early '80s. They spread them out. It wasn't like, I don't think it was like a whole bunch at the same time, but they were spread throughout the '80s.
Now these movies that you just mentioned, those are the ones that shouldn't have been made.
No, what this is, and this is all just the opinion of the writer. He's just saying that these are 10 fantasy movies that are unwatchable today. And again, that's his opinion, because I mean, any one of these, like I say, the Black Cauldron, I think that's a good movie. But
because I was kind of lost, because you said Claymation, and I remember seeing one, and it was an early '60s one, and I didn't see it in the '60s. I saw it in the latter part, like I think it was '66 or '67. And I'm sure you remember this one, Jeff. Jason and the Argonauts.
Yeah.
And
I saw that.
You saw that? When those army of skeletons came up from the ground, I said, oh man, as a kid, I went, oh no, and the other different monsters that appeared. And I'm saying, well, were they criticizing it because of the style of the movie? Or what was the reason? And now that you said it, I can't understand. But that Jason and the Argonauts, the original one, and all that other stuff that was in it, it was a good. It wasn't a horror movie, but it was intense drama there.
Yeah, it's fantasy. That was a fantasy.
Yeah, fantasy. Yeah.
I saw Conan 2 years ago. Not really a fan of Grace Jones as a performer. I mean, I saw her in Vamp. She was in one of the James Bond. With Christopher Walken. I mean, she's kind of a strange duck. Her father is a minister, and actually she came from Central New York. I think that she was born and raised in Syracuse, which is about an hour and a half south of me. So,
well, what I will tell you is in the 80s, she did come out with a really good album. There was a song she came out, Slave to the Rhythm. If you look at on YouTube now, I'm like, it is so out there. Oh my gosh, it is way out there, that video. And then I saw, have you ever seen, I've seen it, I saw it on YouTube. She was on I guess it was a talk show with somebody. This guy was interviewing her. And I guess, I don't know if he asked her the wrong questions or, she just didn't like it. But the next thing you know, she's like slapping this guy, like fighting this guy. I'm like, what in the world? You got to look for it on YouTube. Grace Jones, fight interview, whatever. Yeah, man, she was like slapping this guy, punching this guy. It's crazy. I don't know what I say. I don't know. I guess he was just asking her the wrong stuff. But she's out there. Grace Jones has always been out there. But she can sing.
Grace Jones in Fight Club 2.
Yeah, she can sing though. I'll give it to her. Her album was pretty cool. I gotta find my album. I hope I still have it. That was a pretty decent album. All right. Well, hey, that was a list. And again, to our listeners, we understand that movies, TV shows, everything is subjective. Everybody has a right to their own opinion. There's no right or wrong. This was just that writer's opinion, and for some of them, I think we can all say we agreed with, but other ones like, again, I don't agree with them 100%, but it says his opinion, which is fine. But anyway, let's move on to the last part of our show. This week's question of the week, I actually got the idea from I believe it was Outer Limits episode. One of the ones back from the 90s, not the original black and white ones. So I'm putting you both, Mario and Jeff. Both of you have been elected president of the United States. And your first term, you notice you have scientists that notice, we see something out kind of like way out there in space or whatever, but we don't know what it is, we don't know satellite, a comet, whatever. But then they learn that this thing that's actually coming to Earth is a spaceship, and it's more than one of them. It's a bunch of them that are coming towards Earth. Now, you say, well, okay, let's try to communicate with them. Now, when we send something through our satellite trying to communicate with them, when they respond back, the satellites blow up. We have scientists trying to understand what they're saying. It's a completely different language. They're trying to understand what they're saying. They don't know if it's threatening. They don't know if it's just the way that they talk, whatever. But the Earth is surrounded, and you have to make a split-second decision right now. Are you going to press the button and send missiles up there? Or are you going to just wait and try to wait it out and see if we can communicate and see if they're hostile or not? I'll let you go first, Jeff.
Wait and see.
You're going to wait. So even though they're surrounding the Earth now, you're going to wait and see what happens.
If you launch the missiles, you're going to worsen an already tense situation. Okay. And I don't think that you can meaningfully engage with. If you have an alien race coming to Earth and they've mastered interstellar travel, what do you think that we have on Earth that's going to be able to go up against them and be successful? Unless you want to do like a War of the Worlds and send up some COVID.
Yeah. Okay.
I think you need to sit back and wait.
Okay. Now we have a former police officer, special forces police officer, as president. So President Lazo, what are you going to do? Are you going to press the button, or are you going to wait and try to establish communication first?
Okay. Well, two things. You keep saying that press the button. Now that's thinking back from the 1950s and stuff like that. We've got lasers. So I'm gonna wait and do two things.
Okay.
I'm gonna do the Hail Mary. And that's a movie that's coming out.
Okay.
Yeah, have you seen the previews for it?
Uh-uh.
No? Okay, the
No.
previews are out for it. And then if they feel froggy, let them jump and we'll hit them with our lasers, you know? But we got to, I'm not going to be preemptive in this case
Hmm.
because like Jeff says, we don't know what they got, you know?
Right.
So
Right.
if they start lasering them, we start lasering them back, from the satellites we have there, out there. So you know that we have those, what's it called? The name of two um, gods, Greek gods, the two different type of lasers that we have already. So if they're going to be hostile, well, we can return to hostile. Now, how many will survive? You know, that's the sad part of it. But I don't think I don't let my enemies know what I have. You know,
Hmm.
so if they start blasting us, we got to return fire. It's as simple as that. So
Yeah, yeah. That's that would be a nightmare scenario to be in because again, so okay, so let me tell you what I would do. I think I think we're all in agreement with each other. If basically we were just communicating with each other and the only damage that was done was to those satellites, like I mean, it's not like they shot anything down here or
right,
came down here like invading. They're just basically standing around the planet. I'm in agreement. I think I would just kind of like wait first, try to see, if we can somehow establish some type of communication in between us or whatever before deciding to go to a war. Because
right.
I'm agreeing with you wholeheartedly. If they've already so advanced, they can do interstellar travel where it's going to take us how many years to get to Mars? Yeah, I think we should try to try to not go to war if we have to. But, at the end of the day, if we had to, of course, we're going to use whatever we have. But that's a nightmare scenario because I think if they have that kind of technology to come across the universe like that, I don't think. Look, you know what? I'll tell you something. I don't believe in UFOs. Okay, I'm gonna tell you right now. I really don't. I don't believe. Well, let me rephrase. I don't believe in aliens. I don't think that there's life anywhere other than this planet. And if it is, I think it may be just single cell amoebias, bacteria, stuff like that. I don't think that there's any intelligent life anywhere else in this universe. I just don't believe it. But what I will say, I think one of the worst decisions they ever made when they sent that satellite out there, they basically have a roadmap of our galaxy and how to get to Earth. I think that was the stupidest thing they could have possibly done. In
You mean
case I am
V'ger?
wrong, huh?
You mean V'ger?
Yeah, V'ger. Yeah, that satellite that's out there. What is that thing called anyway? It's still
Voyager?
going. We're still getting. It's Voyager. Yeah, the Voyager. Yeah, Voyager. Yeah, to this day, we're still getting images and stuff back. But I don't ever think they should have ever put a roadmap of where we live. That just doesn't make any sense, right? That's like
That's what what's his name said. Who was that famous mathematician that had Lou Gehrig's disease?
the gentleman in the wheelchair.
Yes.
Yeah, him.
Carl
Yeah.
Sagan?
No,
No,
that wasn't Carl Sagan.
Sagan.
I know who Jeff's talking about. It's the other
But
gentleman.
he had said that he thought it was a mistake. That hey, let's not be sending all our contact information because we could actually be sending messages to the Canaanites from the Twilight Zone. Remember that episode?
Mm-hmm.
To serve man, and we were like, it was a cookbook.
Yeah, that's a great episode. That's a really good episode too. Yeah. So I think we're all on the same page. Peace first. Try to make peace with these people, but then at the same time, you gotta wonder if something like that really were to happen. I think of it just like every other advanced throughout our history. Even though I'm saying more advanced, it doesn't mean that compared to us now that they're primitive. But I'm saying anytime any advanced group of people, country or whatever, started going around to other parts of the world or whatever, 99.9% of the time they went there to conquer. They didn't go there to like they weren't like Star Trek, like the Federation. Oh, let's share thoughts. No, they went there to conquer people. You know what I mean? So I mean, we wouldn't have a choice because it's superior alien race surrounding us. But realistically, I mean, how much of a chance would we really have if it happened?
The real question I have is this. If I'm the president of the United States, do I have any Q interns?
Oh, gosh. Okay, and with that, we're going to wrap up the show tonight. I want to thank my co-host, Mr. Jeff McIntosh, and my co-host, Mr. Mario Lazo. Thank you to all of our listeners. And if you have any feedback for us, please send us an email to drbloodstone@gmail.com. You can catch all of our episodes, everyone that we upload, not only on YouTube, but any of the other platforms that have podcasts, Spotify, you name it, Apple, we're everywhere right now. So again, if you like our episodes on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up, and you can also subscribe so that anytime we release a new episode, you'll be informed. So with that, I want to say good night and have a great week.
Good night, all. Take care.
We come in peace.